back with Lill from CMHA. Lill, if the folks could hear our conversations off air, eh? Wouldn't that be fun someday? Lill and I talk about everything under the sun before we come on for our show, and we have so much fun doing it. And thank you for always educating me. I do appreciate it.
It's a two-way street.
Today, I want to dive into, because last month we talked about Christmas, making sure you make choices that sort of suit you, put yourselves in situations to succeed and have fun. But let's be honest, once Christmas hits, we start thinking New Year's, and I bet you probably 80% of us get this idea in our head that we need to have a New Year's resolution that's overwhelming, time-consuming, and not realistic. Help. That's right. My question to you. Help, so I don't do this again.
Exactly. And we're all guilty of that, right? And what happens when we set these expectations that are unrealistic, and we're going to lose weight, or we're going to go to the gym more, we're going to stop smoking, eat better, all those normal things that we try to put upon ourselves. And usually we fail at them, right? By about the middle of January, those resolutions are out the window. So we need to look at setting realistic resolutions and, stop with the unrealistic resolutions, because what happens when something is unrealistic, it's usually unattainable. As a person that tries to go to the, gym regularly, I see the mad rush to the classes in January. And the classes are so full, you can't even move. Give it about a couple weeks and they're all gone. Just the regulars remain. So because we've tried to make fitness a part of our life. So it's a routine. So when you try to do something new because you've set that resolution and it really isn't in you, right? Like you hate to exercise, or you enjoy smoking, so you don't want to quit. You like a hamburger, so you don't want to go vegan, or whatever you want to do. You're going to fail at it. So it has to be a resolution, or just something that you want to work towards. I like to call them goals. A resolution, it just seems so, oh my God, I have to do this. And if I don't, I'm a failure, I'm a loser, right? So I like to look at setting attainable goals. Like we all need to set goals for ourselves anyway, not just in January, but all year round. So maybe set a goal that is achievable, attainable, and it doesn't always have to come true or achieved by January 2nd, really. So, when we set those resolutions and we fail at them because we're human, that's when we start to get a little bit down about ourselves and our ability to stay on track and be motivated, when really has nothing to do with us. It's just the unrealistic resolution that we set upon ourselves. So as I said before, it's probably more important and more successful and helpful to set goals that you can maybe begin in January, but it can be a year-long thing. Something that you can be motivated to achieve, and something that you want to achieve, right? If you don't want to start going to the gym in January, but you force yourself, it ain't going to happen. You're going to drop out. So look at those realistic goals instead of unattainable, up there resolutions that you're gung-ho in December and you're going to do all this by January, and by the end of January, it's gone. That's gone.
Is it a huge societal thing? Like, is that where the pressure mounts from to do all these resolutions? Like, is that... And I think we got to get away from that, don't we?
We absolutely do. I think everyone thinks that it's a new year, so this is a time for new beginnings, new you, and like it's just another year, right? It's just one more day, except we're going to be in 2023 soon. So don't set those time limits, right? And I guess everyone thinks that they need to do something in the new year because it's a new year and we got to do something, right? Because society's telling us, new year, let's make some changes in our lives. But really, it has to be something that you can achieve and want to achieve, and something that's realistic and attainable. Because if it is not realistic and attainable, you're going to drop out of that resolution and you're not going to follow through. And then you're going to feel worse about yourself because you think, geez, I can't commit to something. I can't bring change in my life. And that really helps a person, does not help a person with low self-esteem. Right.
You got to look at what you like to do. Like
Exactly.
if you like
Yeah.
to cook, take a cooking class.
Yeah.
Don't plan it for January, maybe February or March. Like
Exactly.
give yourself that open time to sort of see. And it can be such a rabbit hole, can it? Because like you said, it can lead to depression,
Yes.
especially when you're talking January and February, right? Because
Yeah.
those are
Yeah.
the months when a lot of folks struggle.
That's right.
Um, can we talk a bit about that? Is that a critical component that CMHA sees?
Sure. We talk about Blue Monday. Now, Blue Monday is the third Monday of January, and we call it Blue Monday. There's really no scientific, fact to it. But what happens is it addresses the reality. So your bills are coming in because you spent too much time, too much money at Christmas. You've dropped out of your resolutions. The weather is terrible. So you've got this triple whammy, and it's a long way to spring, right? So yes, this starts to really impact your mental health. Although it starts to get dark early now, and we've already been a couple months into not great weather, but January and February are really when seasonal affective disorder really starts to kick in. And this really comes as a result of many things, the long, cold, dark days. So seasonal affective disorder is a winter depression, a winter clinical depression. So it's something that we really need to take seriously. With the clinical depression, it continues year long, but it still is a very bona fide scientific medical depression that occurs in the winter months. Yeah.
And folks, when that happens, I mean, some of the programs that you guys probably have in other groups is, even if it's an online chat group with folks that are like, I'm sure there's other things that you can do. And maybe that's to pull yourself out of it a little bit to start being, or I always like to think about what I got planned for April.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to be able to go for a paddle. I'm going to get out. And so maybe set that goal. So it's something you, and it's something you enjoy, but you're going to get there, right?
Exactly.
And that makes it realistic.
Yeah. Feeling hopeless and helpless and feeling that you don't have anything to look forward to, that kind of really depresses your mood. So it's really important to keep active, stay connected, and plan for when the spring comes, because, spring always comes.
Yeah, spring's just around the corner. Isn't that what we hear? Interesting stuff, too. And I think, like you said, getting back to the New Year's resolution, if you sort of look at it in a long-term environment, like you say, okay, maybe you do want to get feeling better about your exercising. Well, just do once a week.
Exactly.
Like start with baby steps, because then you're seeing the progress. And when you said too, I mean, the biggest thing you can probably do is coming out of Christmas is trying to get your eating habits back on track.
Gosh, yes.
Just do those little things first, because it's not going to be easy. Well, it's going to be fun when you get to that point.
Exactly.
But when it starts, you got to put the time in, right?
Absolutely, right. And overeating and over imbibing is part of the holidays, right? So getting back on track instead of continuing to gorge and eat comfort food, we really need to get that back on track, because, like eating healthy makes you feel better too. And that's a fact. Yeah.
When you were talking about Blue Monday, do you guys see that directly? Do you see that impact at CMHA? Just like, whoa.
We see January as being a challenging month for a lot of our clients. Yes. People say that the holidays are a time when loneliness and isolation and depression kick in. And it may for some people who are alone, but for the most part, people are caught up in the hype of Christmas, right? Marketing makes it right in your face, right? So when that's all over, right, that's when people start to really, say, oh, geez, holidays are over. I'm isolated. I'm sad. I'm lonely. And that's when really some of the challenges really come to the forefront. And yes, we do see increased visits to our office, increased phone calls in the month of January for sure. Mm-hmm.
Is it easy in those times? Let's say I'm struggling in late January. Can I just call you guys? Like,
yes.
Is that okay?
Anytime. That's our motto. Give us a call. We can help.
Okay. There you go, folks. So you heard it from Lill. Just mention her name. But no, it does. I think that's important. When you need to reach out, right? Don't struggle alone. Make sure that you've got other folks around you that will support you. thanks for doing this. Have a great new year, eh? Stay out of trouble.
Thank you. Same to you.